Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we shall be looking at the math past paper 1 non-calculator IETF for November 2022. Question 1. Write 500 as a product of powers of its prime factors. Now what does this mean? This means that we are going to express 500 as a multiplication of only numbers that are prime numbers, and as powers of products simply means in index form. So let's start. So first, now let's break up 500. Now we can start with what is very easy, such as 5 times 100. And as we know, 5 is a prime number, so 100 is the same as 10 times 10. So neither of them is a prime number. So we further break 10 down into 2 times 5. Since we can break 2 down, then 2 is a prime number and so is 5. And the second 10 also, we break it down into 2 times 5, and in which both of them are prime numbers. So our final answer is 500 is going to be equals to 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 5. As we can see, there are 3 5s and 2 2s. And as a prime numbers, this will be expressed as 2 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 3. I hope that makes sense. So this is our final answer. 2 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 3. Question 2. Work out 1 and 3/5 plus 2 and 1/4 as a mixed number. We add them together and we leave our answer as a mixed number. So this is very easy as well. So the first thing we have to do is to convert 1 and 3/5 to an improper fraction. So how do we do that? So we do 5 times 1, which is 5, and 5 plus 3 makes 8. So that is 8/5. Another way to do that is to break up 1 and 3/5 as 1 plus 3/5. And as we know, since this is a fifth, then 1 is the same thing as 5/5 plus 3/5, and that will be the same thing as 8/5. While 2 and 1/4 is the same as 2 plus 1/4. As we know, 2 is the same thing as 1 plus 1. So that will be 4/4 plus another 4/4. So that will make 2 wholes, because 2 is 1 plus 1 and plus 1/4. So 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9. So that is 9/4. Now what do we do next? Then we add 8/5 plus 9/4 together. An easy way for us to do that is just to do 1 times 5, then plus 3 over 5. So following the order of operation, it will give us the same 8/5. And also we do 2 times 4 plus 1 over 4. Following the order of operation as well, that will also give us 9/4. So I hope that makes sense. So now how do we add these two together? What is the least common multiple between 5 and 4? So looking at the 5 times table and 4 times table, the smallest number they have in common is 20. So that means 8/5 is going to be something over 20. And that means we multiply 4 times 8 to get 32, and 5 times 4 makes 20. So we multiply both of them by 4. The same way, 9/4 is going to be something over 20. So for 9/4, we multiply both of them by 5. So 9 times 5 is 45, as we know. So now we can add them up. So that means 8/5 plus 9/4 is the same as 32 over 20 plus 45 over 20. And this is the same as 77 over 20. And as a mixed number, 20 goes in 70 it will go 3 times, and the remainder will be 17 over 20. So our answer is 3/17 over 20. I hope this makes sense. Show that 2 and 2/3 divided by 6 equals to 4/9. Easy. Again, we convert 2 and 2/3 to an improper fraction. So just like the previous question that we solved, all we have to do is to do 3, the denominator multiplied by 2 wholes, then plus the 2 in the numerator, then all divided by 3, then divided by 6. So if you follow the order of operation, 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8. So this is 8 over 3 divided by 6, and which is also equals to, now what do we do in this case? We keep the left 8 over 3, we change the division to times, and we flip the 6, so it becomes 1 over 6. And this is going to be the same as, now if we multiply 8 times 1, we got 8, and 3 times 6 is 18. So this is obviously not in simplest form. So by dividing both numbers by 2, so we end up with 4/9, which is exactly what we are asked to prove. So our answer has been proven. Hope this makes sense as well. Question 3. Simplify. 2 to the power of -5 times 2 to the power of 8, all in bracket to the power of 2. So this is laws of indices. So by law of indices, x to the power of a times x to the power of b equals to x to the power of a plus b. So if you have not watched my video on indices, you can click on the link on the top left corner to watch the full video on laws of indices. So let's continue. So that means for this case we add up the powers. So that will be 2 to the power of -5 plus 8 in bracket to the power of 2, which is equals to, so -5 plus 8 is 3. So that will be 2 to the power of 3 in bracket 2. So according to the law of indices, bracket means times. So x to the power of a in bracket b is x to the power of a times b. So that means this will become 2 to the power of 3 times 2, which is 2 to the power of 6. So our answer is 2 to the power of 6. Question 4. Work out 0.004 times 0.32. So an easy way for us to solve this is to first figure out what is 4 times 32. Or we convert both numbers to fractions. So 0.004 is the same as 4 over 1 with 3 zeros. Times, this will be 32 over, there's 2 digits after the 0, so that will be 100. I hope that makes sense. So if we multiply 4 times 32, it will give us 128 over 100,000. And that is easy. So that will be 0.10 hundredths, thousands. So we write 1, 10,000 and 100,000. I hope that makes sense. Or, since there are 3 digits here, we are going to remove 2 of these digits by bringing decimal here. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me repeat that. First, we bring the decimal from this point, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I'll cross out this. So this is 0.128. So we still have 100 left. Then I'll continue adding 1, 2. So that will be 0.00. So I'll take out 2 more zeros. So that becomes 0.00128, which is the same thing as what we have here. I don't know if that makes sense. 0.00128. I hope this is clear. Question 5. A car factory is going to make 4 different car models, A, B, C, D. 80 people were asked which of the 4 models they would be most likely to buy. The table shows information about the results. So we have the car model on the left, A, B, C, D, and we have the number of people on the right. So the factory is going to make 40,000 cars next year. Work out how many Model B cars the factory should make next year. So what do? All we have to do is to find the equivalent fraction, as we know. So for Model B, the equivalent fraction is going to be 15 out of 80. So what is going to be the equivalent of that? That will be equals to x over 40,000. So what do we do next? We do 15 times 40,000 divided by 80. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me do that again in a minute. So I said 15 over 80 is equivalent to, let me just use b, since that is what we are looking for, over 40,000. Now if you cross multiply, b will multiply 80 and 15 will multiply 40,000. So that becomes 15 times 40,000 equals to b times 80. Then from here, b is going to be equals to 15 times 40,000 divided by 80. So we divided both sides of the equation by 80. So 0 take out this 0, 8 here 1, 8 and 40 is 5. Then we have 2 zeros left, so we add it to that. So 15 times 5 is 75. Then we add 2 zeros to that from the 500, so that makes 7,500. So our answer is 7,500 cars of model V that will be produced in the coming year. Question 6. Read one, write down three numbers A, B, and C. Find the ratio of A to B to C. So now we can see that A to B is 1 to 3 and B to C is 6 to 5. So what do we see here? We can see that the B in both cases have something in common. This is 3 here, this is 6 here. So this is very easy. All we have to do is to make ratio A to B to be something to 6. So to do that, we multiply both by 2. So if we multiply both by 2, then A to B is going to become 2 to 6. And B to C is already 6 to 5. So since they are the same now, we can bring them together. So that means A to B to C is going to be what? 2 to 6 to 5. So our answer is 6, 2 to 6 to 5. Write A as a fraction of the total of the 3. So the total of the 3 is what? Is going to be 2 plus 6 plus 5, which is equals to 13. So A as a fraction of that is going to be 2 over 13 because the ratio for A is 2. Emma, write down three numbers M, N, and P. So N is equals to 2M and P equals to 5N. Easy. So that means P is going to be 5 brackets, N is 2M. Right? Because we are finding M to P. So now let's expand that. So P will be equals to 10M. So let's make M the subject. So M is going to be equals to P over 10. So what I did here is to divide both sides by 10. So this cancels out. So M equals to P over 10. Then divide both sides by P, or multiply both sides by 1 over P. Multiply both sides by 1 over P. So that means M over P is going to be equals to 1 over 10. So that implies that the ratio of M to P is what? 1 to 10. So our answer is what? 1 to 10. I hope that makes sense. Question 7. A storing tank exerts a force of 10,000 newtons on the ground. The base of the tank in contact with the ground is a 4 meter by 2 meter rectangle. Work out the pressure of the ground due to the tank. So as we can see, the formula for pressure is equals to force over area. Right? Now, what is the force? The force is 10,000. The area of a rectangle is length times width, and we have been given that, so that will be 4 times 2, which is equals to 8. So that means the pressure exerted on the ground due to the tank is going to be 10,000 divided by 8, and that will be equals to, so let's simplify, 4 goes here, 25 in 100 is 25, then 2 zeros, then 4 goes here, 2, then let's divide 2 by 2,500, so 2 here 1, 2 in 2 is 1, 2 in 5 is 2, remainder 1, 2 in 10 is 5, and 2 in 0 is 0. So our answer is 1,250. I hope that makes sense. Question 8. Two numbers m and n are such that m is a multiple of 5, n is an even number, and the highest common factor of m and n is 7. So write down a possible value for m and a possible value for n. So that is very easy. Since m is a multiple of 5 and the highest common factor of m and n is 7, that means one possible value of m is going to be 5 times 7, which is 35. And n is an even number. So one possible value of n is going to be 2 times 7, which is equals to 14. So let's see if this satisfies our condition. So 35 is a multiple of 5 and 14 is an even number. And the highest common factor between 35 and 14 is 7. So our answer makes sense. So that means m is 35 and n is 14. Question 9. So we are asked to complete the tables of values for y equals to 6x minus x cubed. So when x is negative 2, so what do we have? We are going to have y to be, I'll work that here, 6 multiplied by negative 2 minus negative 2 cubed. So that will be negative 12 minus negative 2 cubed is negative 8. So that will be minus 12 plus 8, which is equals to negative 4. So this is negative 4. When x is negative 1, so that will be 6 multiplied by negative 1 minus minus 1 cube. So that will be negative 6 minus 1, which is equals to minus 6 plus 1, which is equals to minus 5. So this is minus 5. When x is 0, so y is definitely 0. When x is 1, y is going to be 6 multiplied by 1 minus 1 cube. So that will just be 6 minus 1, which is equals to 5. B. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals to 6x minus x cubed for values of x from negative 3 to 3. So that is what we do now. We need to plot the graph, the xy pairs. So when x is negative 3, y is 9. So this is negative 3. 9 should be between 8 and 10. So if this is 8, this should be 8.2. This should be 9, should be around here. I believe we can see that. That should be the middle of 8 and 10. Minus 2 to minus 4. Minus 2 to minus 4. So that is right here. Minus 1 to minus 5. So that should be in between minus 4 and minus 6, which is right there. Then 0 to 0, which is right here in the origin. 1 to 5. 1 to 5 should be right there between 4 and 6. Then 2 to 4, that should be right there. And 3 to negative 9. So negative 9 should be between negative 8 and negative 10, which is right there. So now we plot the graph. So let me try to make it easy. I believe it will go like that, all the way like that, and like that. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Let me just erase that. Let me do it again. So I believe it will come that way. Exactly. So that is the graph. Question 10. Lina spins a biased 5-sided spinner 40 times. Here are our results. Okay, Lina is going to spin the spinner another 2 times. Work out an estimate for the probability that she gets a score of 5 both times. Okay. So first of all, this is the frequency. So what is the total frequency? the total frequency is 40 times as we are given here. So that means the probability, if this is x, if our score is x, then probability of x here is going to be 6 out of 40. Here would be 8 out of 40. Here would be 9 out of 40. Here would be 7 out of 40. And this would be 10 out of 40. I hope that makes sense. So the probability of getting a score of 5 both times is going to be probability of 5 the first time times the probability of 5 the second time. So that will be 10 over 40 times 10 over 40. So 0 we cancel 0, 0 we cancel 0. So 1 times 1 is 1 and 4 times 4 is 16. So that is 1 out of 16. Derek is going to spin the spinner a large number of times. Work out an estimate for the percentage of times Derek can expect to get a score of 1. So a score of 1, the probability of 1 is 6 out of 40. So the percentage of that, all we have to do is to convert it to percentage. So 6 out of 40 is in percentage will be 6 over 40 times 100. So 0 cancel 0, 2 here 2, 2 here 5, 5 here, 2 here 1, 2 here 3, and 3 times 5 makes 15. So that is 15%. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape P onto shape R onto shape Q. So P onto Q, there's no doubt that is enlargement or dilation. So what we need now is to find the point of enlargement. So let's try to link the point together. So I believe we can all see what I'm trying to do. So that goes like that. Perfect. So we need another point also. I believe that should be from 2. Excellent, I was right. So that means the point of enlargement is this point A, which is 0, 2. So that is the point of enlargement. So going from P to Q, another thing we need to find is the scale factor. So this side here is 3, this side here is 1. So that means the scale factor is Q is 1/3 of P. So now let's describe it. So we are going to say this is an enlargement, or let's say since it is from P to Q, that is dilation, or it's still the same, enlargement or dilation. Enlargement from the point, so the point of enlargement is 0, 2. On the scale factor of, now if we are going from Q to P, it will be scale factor of 3, right? We can see P is 3 times of Q, but since it is Q to P, we are going backward, so it will be 1/3, and a scale factor of 1/3. So that is our transformation. Enlargement from the point 0, 2 on the scale factor of 1/3. I hope that makes sense. Solve the simultaneous equation. So there are several ways to solve simultaneous equation, but the easiest one is the elimination method. So in our case, let's try to eliminate x. So to do that, we multiply the coefficient of the, let's call this equation 1 and call this equation 2. So what do we do next? We multiply equation 1 by the coefficient of x in equation 2, which is 4 in this case. Can you see that? and equation 2 by what? Let me use another color. Let me use blue. Equation 2 by 5. Does that make sense? Equation 2 by 5. I hope that makes sense. So now what will be our new equation? So our new equation is going to be equation 1 by 4. So 4 times 5. And that will give us 20x plus 8y equals to 44. And equation 2 by 5. So that will give us 20x plus 15y equals to 30. So the next thing we do now is to subtract. Let's call this equation 3 and this is equation 4. So subtract equation 4 from equation 3. So what is equation 4? What is equation 3? That is 20x plus 8y equals to 44. And equation that's equation 3, right? And equation 4 is 20x plus 15y equals to 30. Got this equation 4. So minus them from each other. So 20x minus 20x, that we cancel out. So we are left with 8y minus 15y. That is negative 7y. That is equals to 44 minus 30 is 14. So what do we do next? We divide both sides of the equation by negative 7. Negative 7, negative 7. So negative 7 cancel each other out. So we are left with y. And 14 divided by negative 7 will be negative 2. So y is negative 2. So to find the value of x, we substitute for the value of y in any of the equation. So if I go for equation 1, 5x plus 2y equals to 11. 5x plus 2y equals to 11. So now we substitute for y equals to negative 2 in equation 1. This is our equation 1. So what do we have? We have 5x plus 2 multiplied by negative 2 equals to 11. So 5x plus 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 equals to 11. So what do we do next? We add 4 to both sides. So that means 5x equals to 15, as minus 4 plus 4 will give us 0. So then we divide both sides of the equation by 5. 5 cancel out and 5 goes in 15 3 times. So x is equals to 3. And we are done. So x is 3 and y is negative 2. I hope that makes sense. Question 13. P is inversely proportional to T. So what does that mean? First of all, we need to find the constant of proportionality. And the good thing is we have one complete set. So P is inversely proportional means 1 over T. So to introduce the constant, it means that P will be equals to the constant over T. And that means the constant is going to be P multiplied by T. So given that P is 1 when T is 100, so what does that give us? It means that K, the constant, is going to be 1 multiplied by 100, and that means K is 100. So the equation becomes P equals to 100 over T. As we see that K is 100 from here. So we replace K into this value and it gives us this. So now we can find the values. So when T is 25, so we are going to have P to be 100 divided by 25, which is 4. When P is 5, that means T is going to be 100 divided by 5, which is 20. And when T is 2, P is going to 100 divided by 2, which is 50. I hope that makes sense. So simply put, that what we need here are two numbers that always multiplies to 100, because if you make 100 the subject, we are going to have PT to be equals to 100 from here. I mean, we are going to have PT to be equals to 100. So 100 times 1 is 100, 25 times 4 is 100, 20 times 5 is 100, and 2 times 50 is also 100. So that makes sense. And we are done. So we need to plot an histogram. So first of all, we need to find the frequency density. So by definition, the frequency density is equals to the frequency divided by the class width. So the frequency density is right here. So here the frequency is what? Is 20, and the class width here, let me just write the class width here. So the class width from 50 to 70, that's 20, 70 to 80 is 10, 80 to 90 is 10, 90 to 110 is 20. So now we take the ratio. So 20 divided by 20, that is 1. 50 divided by 10, that is 5. 60 divided by 10, that is 6. And 30 divided by 20 is 1.5. I hope that makes sense. So now let's plot. So first of all, let's label this. So let me zoom out a little bit. So I can see this should be 1, if I'm not wrong. This should be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 if possible. So now, from 50 to 70, the frequency density is 1. So from 50 to 70, the frequency density is 1. So we have this. We are supposed to use a ruler. Let me try to make it straight. This is 50. This is 70. So that is 1. So that's perfect. From 70 to 80 is 5. So from 70 is 5. 80 is also what? 5. So we join it together. Sorry, that was a mistake. Yeah, I hope that is perfect. From 80 to 90 is 6. So I'll just join this up to 6. That is not very straight. Let me just draw a new line. Up to 90. Perfect. Now yeah, just okay, let's leave it like that. So from 90 to 110 is 1.5. So this is 110 is 1.5, so that should be right here. So, and if you want, you can shade. If you want, you can shade it in. If that won't take too much of your time. And that's it. I hope it's beautiful. Next, the diagram shows a sector of a circle of radius 18 centimeters. So the length of the arc is 4 pi. So work out the value of x. Easy. So the length of an arc, the formula is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So the length of the arc is 4 pi. So that means 4 pi equals to x over 360 times 2 times pi times 18. So pi, we take out pi. So let's make x the subject. So x is going to be, first let's simplify this. 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 180 times, 18 goes here 1, 18 goes here 10 times. So that means x over 10 equals to 4. So that means x is 4 times 10, which is equals to 40 degrees. So our x is 40 degrees. Question 16. Prove that 2m plus 1 squared minus 2n minus 1 squared is equals to 4 bracket m plus n and m minus n plus 1. So easy. So what I have here is called difference of two squares. For example, if I have x squared minus y squared is equals to x plus y multiplied by x minus y. This is called difference of two squares. So if I apply that here, it means this is going to become 2m plus 1 is going to be 2m plus 1 squared minus 2n minus 1 squared is going to be equals to open bracket. So x plus y. So x plus y is going to be 2m plus 1, then plus 2n minus 1, then multiply by x minus y. So x minus y is going to be 2m plus 1 minus, then I open bracket, y now is going to be 2n minus 1, close bracket. So what exactly I've done is this. I represent this with x and I represent this with y. So my x is 2n plus 1 and my y is 2n minus 1. So now if I simplify that, 1 minus 1, we cancel each other out. 2, I'm going to be left with 2m plus 2n. Then open bracket. So this is going to be, if I simplify this, that will be 2m plus 1, then minus 2n plus 1. So that is going to become 2m plus 2n bracket 2m minus 2n plus 2, because 1 plus 1 we add up to 2. And that will become, now from here I can factorize 2 out. So 2 can be factorized out. I'm going to have m plus n, then times 2 also can be factorized out here, bracket m minus n plus 1. So this 2 now, we multiply this 2, and that will give us what? 4, bracket m plus n, bracket again m minus n plus 1, which is exactly what we have here. And we are done. Sophia says that the result in part A shows that the difference of two squares of any two odd numbers must be a multiple of 4. Is Sophia correct? Give a reason for your answer. The difference of two squares of any two odd numbers. So let's see. Yeah, Sophia is correct. Because yes, because 2m plus 1 is a sequence of odd numbers, and 2n minus 1, I guess 2n minus 1, right? Yeah, 2n minus 1. 2n minus 1 is another sequence of odd numbers. I hope that makes sense. And as I said earlier, what we have here is difference of two squares. I said it right here, that this is difference of two squares. And that resulted in 4 multiplied by what we have. So this means that this is a multiple of 4. This is a what? A multiple of 4. So that means Sophia is correct. Work out the value of 8 over 27 all to the power of 4 over 3. Now, there's a law of indices that says that x to the power of a over n is the nth root of x to the power of a. So what does this mean? This means that if I have, for example, 9 to the power of 3 over 2, this means the square root of 9 to the power of 3, which is 3 to the power of 3, which is 27. Or if I have 8 to the power of 3 over 3, this means the third root of 8 all to the power of 2, which is the same thing as 2 to the power of 2, which is 4. So if I apply the same thing here, this means the third root of 8 over 27 all to the power of 4. and the third root of 8 is 2, and the third root of 27 is 3. Then all to the power of 4. And that will give us 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And 3 to the power of 4 is 3 times 3, which is 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. So our answer is 16 over 81. I hope this makes sense. If you get confused, check my channel for videos on the laws of indices. I've made a comprehensive video on that. Question 18. This is circle theorem. Again, if you get confused on circle theorem, check my YouTube channel for video on circle theorem. I made a comprehensive video on that as well. So, A and B are points on a circle, and point O is the center. DBC, which is, DBC is the tangent to the circle, which is a straight line, and AOB is x degree. Show that angle ABC, let's see, which angle is that? Angle ABC, that is this angle right here, is equals to half x. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Now, there's a rule of circle theorem that says that if I introduce another point here, let me draw that again. Let me call this y, and this is point P. Now, by a rule of circle theorem, APB, okay, that angle APB is equals to half AOB. This is the rule of circle theorem, and the reason for that is the angle on the circumference is twice the angle at the center. So that's the rule for that. So what does that mean? It means y is equals to half x, right? Now, there is also another rule that says that APB is equals to ABC. That means this is also y. And the reason for that is the angle to the tangent of the circle is equal to the angle on the circumference. I hope that makes sense. That is, if this is y, then this is also y. In other words, if this is, let's say this angle here is q, then that means this also is going to be q. That is the rule for that. The angle on the tangent here is equal to the angle at the circumference here. They are equal. Now, since we know that, what does that tell us? I believe we can see the relationship now. It implies that ABC is equals to what? Half AOB, because ABC is equals to APB and APB is equals to half AOB. So that means these two are equal. So ABC equals to half AOB. And what is ABC? So that means ABC is equals to half what? So AOB is what? As we can see, AOB is x. So that means that is equals to half x degrees. So that is proved as required. I hope that makes sense. I'm sure there are many ways to prove this. Question 19. Solve 1 over x minus 1 over x plus 1 plus equals to 4. Give your answer in the form a plus or minus b root 2 where a and b are fractions. So what do we do in this case? 1 over x minus 1 over x plus 1 equals to 4. So the first thing we do is to cross multiply. So we multiply x with 1 and 1 with x plus 1. So x plus 1 multiplied by 1 minus 1 multiplied by x divided by x bracket x plus 1. That will be equals to 4. So if I open the bracket, I have x plus 1 minus 1 times x is minus x divided by x bracket x plus 1 equals to 4. So x minus x cancel each other out. So I have 1 over x bracket x plus 1 equals to 4. So next we cross multiply. So this is 4 over 1. So that will be 1 times 1 equals to 4x bracket x plus 1. So we open the bracket. So 1 equals to 4x squared plus 4x. So bring everything to one side. So I have 4x squared plus 4x minus 1 equals to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. So what do we do next? We try to look for two numbers. If I multiply, I have minus 4 because 4 times minus 1 is equals to minus 4. When I add, it's going to give me 4. So definitely the such number does not exist. So the best thing is to use the quadratic formula. So next, we use the quadratic formula to complete this equation to find the value of x. So the quadratic formula is x equals to minus b plus or minus root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So where a is equals to the coefficient of x squared, which is 4, and b is the coefficient of x, which is also 4, and c is negative 1. Substituting the values, so we get x to be equals to minus b plus or minus, that is wrong, minus 4, because we got b to be 4, so that will be minus 4 plus or minus root of 4 squared minus 4 times a is also 4, and c is negative 1. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, all over 2 times 4 because a is 4. So that will give x equals to minus 4 plus or minus root of 16 minus, now 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times minus 1 is plus 16. So our answer becomes plus 16 divided by 8. So this will make x to be equals to minus 4 plus or minus root 32 divided by 8. And 32, as we can see, is 16 times 2. So that will be x equals to minus 4 plus or minus root 16 times 2 divided by 8, which will bring us to x to be equals to minus 4 plus or minus square root of 16 is 4, then square root of 2 divided by 8. So we are asked to leave our answer as a plus or minus b root 2 where a and b are fractions. So we are arriving there. So x is going to be minus 4 over 8 plus or minus 4 over 8 root 2. And if we simplify that, x would be minus half plus or minus half root 2. So that's our final answer. So our final answer is minus half plus or minus half root 2. So that means A is minus half and B is half. I hope that is clear. Question 20. Halfie has 11 cards. He has 3 blue, 7 green and 1 white. And Alfie takes 2 of these cards at random. Work out the probability that it takes cards of different colors. So let's make a tree diagram for this. So we have blue, we have green, and we have white. So probability of taking a blue card is 3 out of 11. That of green is 7 out of 11, and that of white is 1 out of 11. So the second probability would be blue, this would be green, and this would be white. Then blue again, then green, then white. Then blue, green, and white. So this is 3 out of 11, 7 out of 11, and 1 out of 11. 3 out of 11, 7 out of 11, 1 out of 11. Again, 3 out of 11, 7 out of 11, and 1 out of 11. Now here's the thing. We're not told that the card was replaced. So we have to assume probability without replacement. So if that is the case, this will change. These probabilities will change. So if it takes blue card the first time, probability of taking blue again is going to be 2 out of 10. And this would be 7 out of 10. And this will be 1 out of 10. So if it takes green the first time, the second card will be 3 out of 10. Then this will be 6 out of 10. And this will be 1 out of 10. And if it takes white the first time, then definitely there will not be any white the third time, I believe. So this would be 3 out of 10 as well for blue, and green is going to be 6 out of 10. No, green is going to be 7 out of 10. Green is going to be 7 out of 10, and since white has been taken, so that will just be 0 out of 10. So the probability of taking the cards of different colors, that would be, first of all, we can have blue green, which is this way or this way. So that would be 3 over 11 times 7 out of 10 plus 3 over 11 times 1 out of 10. So that probability plus we can take green and blue or green and white, which is the same thing as green blue is going to be 7 over 11 times 3 out of 10, then plus 7 over 11 times 1 out of 10. Then we have white blue and white green, which is 1 over 11 times 3 out of 10 plus 1 over 11 times 7 over 10. So now we add up all the probabilities. So this will be 21 over 110 plus 3 over 110 plus 21 over 110 plus 7 over 110 plus 3 over 110 again plus 7 over 110. So 21 plus 3 is 24. 24 plus 21, that makes 45. 45 plus 7 and 3 is 10, so that's 55. And 55 plus 7 makes 62. So that will be 62 over 110, which can be simplified to 31 over 55. So this will be our answer, 31 over 55. The second method to solve this same problem would be, now I think the second method should be easier, since what we are looking for is different colors. So what we have to do is to find the probability of same color and minus it from 1, because probability always add up to 1. So probability of same color, that would be selecting blue both times, so that will be 3 over 11 times 2 over 10. Then plus probability of selecting green both times, 7 over 11 times 6 out of 10, plus probability of selecting white both times, so that would be 1 over 11 times, I'm not sure if that is possible, then I think 0 out of 10, I think. So this will be 6 over 110, plus 6 times 7 is 42 over 110, then plus 0 obviously, and that will be 48 over 110. And if we simplify this would give us 24 over 55. And like I said, we take away that from one whole, so 1 minus 24 over 55 is going to be, I think, 31, because 1 whole is the same as 55 over 55 minus 24 over 55, and 55 minus 24 should give us 31 over 55, which I think is the same as what we have here, 31 over 55. I hope that makes sense. So this is the graph. The graph shows a sketch of part of the curve of y equals to cos x. P is a minimum point on the curve. Write down the coordinates of P. Easy. So at the minimum, what we know is that cos x must be equals to -1, if I'm correct, at the minimum point. And at the maximum, cos x is going to be equals to 1. That's what we know about sine and cosine graphs. So since this is the minimum, all we have to do is to ask ourselves, if cos 0 is equals to 1, so that means the opposite of that will be cos 180 degrees, that will be equals to -1, because on the quadrant, so this is 0, this is 90, and this is 180 degrees. So if cos 0 is 1, then cos, the opposite of that will be -1, which is cos 180 degrees, because this is our x-axis. So what does that mean? It means that the value of x here is going to be 180 degrees, while the value of y is going to be -1. So the coordinate of point P is going to be 180 degrees, comma, -1. So, but if we are asked to give our answer in terms of pi, then it will be pi, 180 degrees is pi, so that is pi radian, comma, -1. But in this case, I don't think we are asked to give our answer in terms of pi, so that would just be 180 degrees, comma, -1. So that will be the coordinate of P. I hope that makes sense. So here is a triangle ABC. Work out the value of sine ABC. Give your answer in the form m over n, where m and n are integers. Okay, so sine ABC. So I believe they're asking us to find the sine of this angle, if I'm not wrong. So using the sine rule, so a over sine A is equals to b over sine B. So what is A? The value of A is 10.7. So 10.7 over sine 30 is equals to B, which is 6.5 actually. 6.5 over sine B. So if you make sine B the subject, so sine B or sine ABC in this case is going to be 6.5 multiplied by sine 30 divided by 10.7. So from the quadrant, sine 0 is equals to 0. Sine 30, if I'm not wrong, should be equals to half. and sine 45 should be equals to 1 over root 2, and sine 60 should be equals to root 3 over 2, and sine 90 should be equals to 1. So this is what we need. Sine 60, sine 30 is half. So that will be 6.5 times 0.5 divided by 10.7. So let's make everything whole numbers. So okay, let's do that here. 6.5 times 0.5. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 here, 2 here. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 2, 32. So they are both 1 decimal places. So I think that is 3.25. So this is 3.25 divided by 10.7. So let's do that here. We're asked to leave our answer in the form of m over n. Okay, where both are integers. So let's multiply the numerator and the denominator by 100. So 100, 100. That will be 325 over 1070, which is equals to 5 goes in 32 6 times. Remainder 2, 5 in 25 is 5. 5 goes in 10, that is 2. 5 goes in 7, that is 1. Remainder 2, and 5 in 20 is 4. So I don't know, is there anything that can divide both 65 and 214? Let's see. Let's use prime factorization. 65 is 5 times 13. I don't think we can break down further. Then 214 is let me see if 13 can go in 214. So 13 in 21, it goes 1. Remainder from 13 up to 21, that should be 8. Then 13 in 84, let's see, 84 is 7 times 12. So definitely 13 cannot go in 84. 13 times 5 is 60. 13 times 6, that should be 8 here, 1 here. That should be 78. Yeah, definitely 13 cannot go in 214. So that means our answer is 68 over 214. So that is our answer. So m is 68 and n is 214. Here are the first 5 terms of a geometric sequence. Work out the next term of the sequence. Okay, let's see. So root 5 is the same as 5 to the power of half. Or let me say, we need to find the common ratio, and I think the common ratio is going to be 10 divided by root 5, I think, which is equals to, if I try to rationalize that will be 10 root 5 over 5, which is equals to 2 root 5. So let's see if that makes sense. So that's the common ratio. So root 2 root 5 times root 5 is going to give us 10. 10 times 2 root 5 is 20 root 5, and 20 root 5 times 2 root 5 is 200. Yeah, that makes sense. So work out the next term of the sequence. So 400 times 2 root 5 is going to be the same thing as 800 times 5, which is equals to 4,000. So our answer is 4,000. The fourth term of a different geometric sequence is 5 root 2 over 4, and the sixth term of this sequence is 5 root 2 over 8. Given that all terms of this sequence are positive, work out the first term of the sequence. Easy. So the fourth term is AR cubed, and that is equals to 5 root 4 5 root 2 over 4. And the sixth term is AR to the power 5. And that is equals to 5 root 2 over 8. So what we have to do is to divide both seconds. So if we divide the two seconds, we are going to have r to the power of, let me do it properly. So I'm going to have r to the power 5a over ar to the power of 3 to be equals to 5 root 2 over 8 divided by 5 root 2 over 4. So this, we cancel this, so r goes here, we have r squared. So this will be 5 root 2 over 8 times 4 over 5 root 2. So this will cancel each other out, and r squared is going to be 4 here 1, 4 here 2. So that is going to be 1 over 2. So if r squared is 1 over 2, that means r is 1 over root 2. So if that is our common ratio, what will be the first term? So the first term, as we can see, is AR cube is equals to 5 root 2 over 4. And as we know, R is 1 over root 2. So that means A multiplied by 1 all over root 2 cube is going to be equals to 5 root 2 over 4. So that would be A over the cube of square root of 2 should be 2 root 2 is equals to 5 root 2 over 4. So multiplying both sides by a 2 root 2, so a would be 5 root 2 over 4 times 2 root 2, 2 here 1, 2 here 2. Root 2 we cancel root 2, we have 2, and 2 cancel 2, we have 5. So that means the first term is 5. I hope that makes sense. Here is a solid sphere and a solid cone. The volume of the sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed, and the volume of the cone is 1 over 3 pi r squared h. All measurements are in centimeters. The volume of the sphere is equal to the volume of the cone. Find the ratio of r to h. Okay, that's easy. So the volume of the sphere, 4 over 3 pi r cubed, is equals to the volume of the cone, 1 all over 3 pi r squared h. I believe that is all we need. So from here, 3 we cancel 3, and pi also we cancel pi, and r squared we cancel 2 out, so that means 4r is equals to h. So that means we are asked to find, so dividing both sides by 4, we have r to be equals to h over 4, and multiplying both sides by 1 over h, we are going to have r over h equals to 1 over 4. So that means r to h is equals to 1 to 4. So our answer is 1 to 4. That is quite easy. Now, this is a continuation of the question. So all measure, we were asked the total surface area is equal to the total surface area of the cone. So we're asked to find r to h also. So that means 4 pi r squared is equals to the curved area of the cone is pi rl plus the area of the base of the circle, which is the area of the circle, which is pi r squared. Pi r squared. So we can factorize pi r. So here we have L plus this will be r equals to 4 pi r squared. So pi we cancel pi, r we cancel one of the r, so 4r equals to L plus r. So minus r from both sides, so that means 3r is equals to L. Correct? So that means L is equals to 3r. Okay. Find the ratio of R to H. I think we did that from the previous question. Know the value of L equals to 3R. We come back to the cone. So this is the slant height. The height of the cone itself is H. So this is going to be like Pythagoras theorem. So this is L, which is equals to 3R. And this is R. So the value of H is going to be what? The value of H is going to be 3R squared. You know, Pythagoras theorem is A squared plus B squared equals to C squared, right? So let's substitute for that here. So that means L squared plus R squared equals to H squared, right? So we need to make L the subject. So L squared is equals to H squared minus R squared. So L is going to be the square root of H squared minus R squared, right? So if I substitute for that here, so I'm going to have square root of H squared minus R squared equals to 3R. I hope that makes sense. So squaring both sides, H squared minus R squared is equals to 9R squared. So add R squared to both sides. So H squared is going to be equals to 10R squared, right? So we are looking for R to H, correct? So let's divide both sides by H squared. So that will be 1 equals to 10R squared over H squared. Dividing both sides by 10 or multiplying both sides by 1 over 10. So that means 1 over 10 equals to R squared over H squared. So if I take the square root of both sides, that means R over H will be 1 over square root of 10. Actually, it is the square root of 1 over 10, which is the same thing as 1 over square root of 10. So, right? So that means R to H is equals to 1 ratio square root of 10. So that's our answer. 1 ratio square root of 10. I hope that makes sense. And that's it. We are done with our questions. That's the end of this paper. I hope you loved it. Remember to like my page, subscribe so that you can get more updates when I release the paper 2 solution of this past paper, and also share my videos with your friends who are your fellow students who might find this video beneficial. Thank you and see you in my next video.